On Tuesday, President Donald Trump screwed over anyone that was set to pay less for their prescription drugs. Trump recently signed an executive order that delays Medicare negotiations for a broad category of prescription drugs, which was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. So basically, on Tuesday, he handed the pharmaceutical industry a major win as it continues to lobby against any effort to rein in its pricing power. Trump's order is ironically titled Lowering Drug Prices by Once Again Putting Americans First. It's a funny way of doing it by doing the complete opposite. Okay, they're not putting Americans first, they're putting the drug companies first. Now, the order instructs Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to work with Congress to modify the Medicare price negotiation program that was established under the Biden administration. Now, look, I've criticized that because I don't think it goes far enough. I don't think it allows enough negotiation for prescription drugs. Trump reversed it and said, no, you're not going to be able to negotiate for any prescription drugs. Oh, great. Lovely. Now, what's the modification then? Well, Trump is calling for a 4-year extension of the period during which something called small molecule prescription drugs are exempt from price negotiations with Medicare. What exactly are small molecule drugs? Basically pills. It's any medication in pill form. That represents about 90% of all medications currently in circulation. That means that Trump just said, oh, 90% of these drugs are going to be delayed from being able to be negotiated with for these pharmaceutical companies for 4 years. Oh, lovely. So now typically, okay, they're not subject to the price negotiation process until at least 9 years after their FDA approval date. Now, Trump's adding another 4 years onto that, just as some people are starting to benefit from lower drug prices. It kind of feels like a giant rug pull for those people. It's going to increase the cost to regular people. It's also increasing the cost to the government. In fact, the CBO has estimated in the first 6 years negotiated drug prices are available through Medicare, the government would save nearly $100 billion. But I guess that's not going to happen now. Steve Knievel, which, by the way, come on, Steve Knievel? That's awesome. But he's a drug policy advocate at Public Citizen, right? He warned in a statement that by pushing back the negotiation date for many of these drugs, Trump's order could do the opposite of its stated goal, reversing recent progress on this issue. He said, further delaying Medicare drug price negotiation would lead to higher prices for patients and taxpayers, not lower ones. Empowering Medicare to negotiate drug prices is the only significant legislative measure taken to address big pharma price gouging in the last 40 years. Now, Trump proposes to undermine that singular achievement. Extending negotiation delay periods is nothing but a total capitulation to the demands of drug corporation lobbyists that want to continue to overcharge Medicare beneficiaries and taxpayers. So I thought the whole point, by the way, of Doge was to make the government more efficient. If you allow the government to negotiate prices with the drug companies, that lowers prices for everyone, saves money, and yes, makes things more efficient. But apparently, they don't actually care about that at all. In fact, the advocacy group Protect Our Care said following the order that Trump just caved to Big Pharma again. His new executive order pushes to delay Medicare drug price negotiations, giving drug companies 4 extra years to price gouge seniors. The only winners here are the drug companies. Well, I thought Trump was promising to lower drug prices. And if you fell for it, if you believed him, you fell for it again. Because how many things that he has said that he was going to do to help consumers that he has absolutely lied about? Pretty much everything. Oh, remember grocery prices. They're going to be lower on day one. Oh, they went up. Oh, prescription drugs. I want a lower drug price. Oh, Not going to do that now. Of course. Now, the reason, of course, is that Trump is corrupt. He is bought by donors, and he is working for the donors against the will of the people. Polling found that a strong majority supports letting Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices. But of course, Trump does not care about the majority. He does what the lobbyists tell him to do because they got the money. And to show you just how much influence these drug lobbyists have, his order uses the same language that big pharma lobbyists have used in their messaging against allowing Medicare to negotiate drugs. Okay, the first section of the order states that the 4-year difference between when small molecule drugs and biologics are subject to Medicare price negotiations under current law is known as the pill penalty, a label that the pharmaceutical industry's largest lobbying organization has invoked repeatedly in its attacks on the Biden-era program. The pill penalty language was also used in ads run by a front group called Seniors for Better Care, which, as Sludge's Donald Shaw and David Moore revealed, is not an actual seniors group, but rather a front for a lobbyist-led shell group called the American Prosperity Alliance. Yes, anything that's called American Prosperity, whatever, you know it's basically to represent giant corporations and to allow them to continue screwing us. Seniors for Better Care has ramped up its spending on ads that appear to be targeting Trump and his inner circle, Shaw and Moore had reported back in February. And that's not all. Earlier this year, Republican lawmakers in the House and Senate, including recipients of pharmaceutical industry campaign money, introduced legislation that would delay the price negotiation process for small molecule drugs, signaling Republican support for the objectives laid out in Trump's executive order. Nothing to help the American people. No bills out there that would actually lower prices for average consumers. But you got this pharma-led, pharma-crafted bill, not only a bill in Congress, but also an executive order by Trump. I think it's pretty clear who's running this whole show. It's all the lobbyists. It's all these corporate interests. Make no mistake, Patients for Affordable Drugs Executive Director Meredith Basie said of the legislation, this is yet another attempt by Big Pharma to rig the system in its favor at the expense of patients. And there it is. Again, if you thought Donald Trump cared about this because he once said he was going to lower prices, then you were duped. And you know what? That's actually okay to admit. Because Donald Trump, at his core, is and always has been a con man who puts himself and the people who give him money first. Always. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.